It's coming home. Maybe it's actually coming home. One game to go. I can't believe I'm about to say these words. England are in a major tournament final. The only success that I've ever seen England have was in Le Tournoi in 1998, friendly tournament. Some of you won't even remember that. That's where Roberto Carlos scored that wonder goal. And man, I can't believe England are actually in the final. Let's be honest about it. We have had a helping hand. We've had a fairly decent run to the final. The Germany game, though, that was, for me, what means England deserved to be in the final, because that was not an easy game, and I thought we managed that perfectly. That was a standout performance for me, even though we beat Ukraine 4-0. It was the Germany game where I thought to myself, right, England, you know, you have to give them credit. And also you have to give Gareth Southgate credit. I've never, ever been convinced by Southgate. And I'll be honest with you, I'm still not hugely convinced by Southgate. But how well has he done? You know, we finally conceded a goal today, and what a goal it was. That free kick, my God. You know, I don't blame Pickford for that, but I have been waiting all tournament for teams to test him from outside the box, because anyone that watches, you know, Premier League football knows that is Pickford's weakness. And, well, that free kick exploited it big time. Even though we got a touch to it, and I didn't even blame him for it, you've got to fancy your chances from outside the box against Pickford. There's something about him kind of reaching out for those long shots, just doesn't do very well with them. But anyway, we're talking about the Denmark goal. Let's talk about England. Bukayo Saka, the star boy. Look, you know, without him and his involvement, what I love about that Saka, it's not his goal, right? But him forcing that own goal. If you look at that passage of play, there's a lot of times in that game where I'm looking at Harry Kane and I'm thinking, why aren't you in the box? And Saka, either you give credit to Saka or Southgate or both, because what happens there when Kane comes deep, Saka is on his bike so long before that pass is made. That pass is only made because of Saka making that run, and not just making it, but I'm talking about really committing to that run. Brilliant run, going, not just hugging the touchline, but coming inside, making that pass between the centre-back and the full-back on. And then he keeps his composure and plays a really good ball. You can't even blame Denmark for the own goal there, because you know, if the defender doesn't do it, Raheem Sterling puts it in. But Saka was brilliant there. So I love to see it, love to see Bukayo Saka doing the business for England and justifying his start. And I was really disappointed to see him go off. And for Grealish, who then got subbed off himself. And that you don't see very often. I don't know if that was an injury or whether that was tactical, but let's talk about both. If it's an injury, fair enough, nothing you can say. But if it's tactical, that's one hell of a call by Gareth Southgate, because the obvious one, you'd say Raheem Sterling, simply because he wasn't a sub, right? But, you know, Raheem Sterling, how can you take him off, man? Harry Kane gets the goal, yes, albeit after missing the penalty, but anyone that knows ball knows that it's Raheem Sterling that has made England, win that game today. His involvement, his direct running is what people are scared of, is what defenders fear, because let's be honest about it was never a penalty. VAR failed, probably for the first time this tournament I can remember. I can't believe the referee didn't go and look at that on the monitor. I can't believe it wasn't overturned, because for me it's simply not a penalty. But look, hey, England fans are going to take it. And Kane, very lucky to get the rebound. You've got to feel sorry for Denmark in a sense, because not only was it not a penalty, but then, Schmeichel saves it, and that rebound can go anywhere. In a way, the strange thing is, right, it was an awful penalty. If Harry Kane puts that in a corner, he probably doesn't get the rebound, because Schmeichel will end up pushing that wide of the post. But because it was such an awful penalty, it was in the middle of the goal, the rebound came back in kind of the middle of that goal, like within the goal area. And because of that, he manages to put it in. So, yeah, man. But then again, who knows? If he did put it in a corner, maybe Schmeichel wouldn't have saved it. Massive amounts of luck. But you have to say, on balance, England deserved to go through. They were the better team. They had more possession, more shots on target. Overall, they deserved to go through. And the strange thing is, for me, Denmark, they didn't seem to have that urgency at any point in the game that I thought they would have. I thought they would really be going hammer and tongs to try and get back in the game. But they were like almost very calm throughout. And calm is good, but you kind of think, last 5 minutes of extra time, last 10 minutes of extra time, I want to see a bit more desperation from Denmark. And for some reason, I just didn't see that. And look, they're like the very romantic, poetic story of Denmark in this tournament is unfortunately over for them, because with what happened to Christian Eriksen, it would have been one hell of a story. That's the sort of thing that a movie writer would script. But look, England have waited a long time to get into a final. And here we are, man. We're actually in a final. And now we come up against Italy, who, let's face it, I think they have been the best team in the tournament so far, in my opinion, because not only have they had a lot of defensive stability, they've also shown a lot going forward. England did in the game against Ukraine, but I think Italy, on balance, have been brilliant, going forward at times. Chiesa has, really started to come into his own in this tournament as well. It's going to be a massively interesting game. I want to know from you guys, your comments below, what do you think is going to happen in the final? Because I'm not saying it yet, those 3 words, it's coming home. I'm not saying it yet with a lot of confidence, because I think Italy are a huge task. And I think what we saw in the penalty shootout with Italy and Spain, right? The Italians, they just look confident. You looked at Chiellini, everything about him exuded confidence and belief. And I thought this occasion actually got the better of England to an extent, because we weren't very fluid in our play, but we still got over the line. We still did what we needed to do. But against an Italian team that I just kind of felt like handled that whole occasion a bit more comfortably on balance than England, given the opposition England and Italy both played. I just wonder, are England going to be able to do it? Let me know in your comments below. Thank you very much for tuning in, and make sure you subscribe and like and all of that stuff and share. Thanks a lot. Take care.